Three, two, one. So excited for this episode. I mean, This is my brother here. His name is Atty. Paolo Javier. We are going to discuss a very important topic that will cover everyone's concern, and we are going to discuss the self-defense law. So, uh, Atty. Java, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it, man. Seryoso. This is gonna be exciting. This is gonna be exciting.
Hi guys, thank you Franco for having me. I'm very excited to be here as well.
Okay, so we're all part of the martial arts industry, and self-defense is something that we advocate. Self-protection is something that is dear to us, and we always want to convey the message that everyone should learn self-defense, and not just the moves, not just the concept, but we also want everyone to have the proper mindset. I think that's something that everyone tends to neglect. And another aspect, like as the years
Mhm.
go by, another aspect that we tend to neglect is the physical, not only the physical aspect, but also the legal aspect of self-defense. So we are here today to discuss the self-defense law, or what are the provisions, the guidelines, how to break it down, and we will do our best to make you guys understand it in the best way possible. I couldn't think of anyone better to explain this to you than Attorney Paolo Javier here. So,
Okay, Franco, before I start, I'd like to
uh,
lay some foundations first. No?
mhm,
There are different branches of law. No?
mm,
So we have, when we take the bar exam, we have political law, civil law,
mhm,
etc. No?
mm,
And of course, the self-defense law falls under criminal law.
criminal law.
Okay? So like when we say political law, that's the law that governs the relationship between people and the state or
Mm-hmm.
amongst different states. No?
Yes.
When we say civil law, it governs the relationship between or among people. Kung
Mm,
political law, people and state,
mhm,
and civil law, people and people. But when
mhm,
it comes to criminal law, that is the law which defines the crime, treats of the nature of the crime, and also provides for its punishment. Now, the
mm,
problem most people have is they do not know if it's a civil law or a criminal law.
mm,
And the trick here is very easy. No?
mm.
You will know that it's a civil law if the punishment is in the form of damages
Okay.
or money.
Okay.
But if the punishment provides for imprisonment or a fine, if it is punitive in nature, no, it punishes you, then that
Mhm.
is a criminal law. Okay?
Okay.
And the rules on criminal laws will have to apply. That's
Mm,
very important. Okay?
mhm.
Because for example, no, the Constitution provides that no one will be imprisoned for a debt. Utang ba? No? Okay, you
Okay.
cannot be imprisoned for a debt.
Okay.
But you can be imprisoned for issuing a bouncing check. Because what
Okay.
is punished in that case is not the failure to pay the debt, but issuing a check that bounces.
Mm.
So,
So ang
difference. So, you're not
pinaparusahan
punished
doon is yung pag-issue nung cheque na tumalbog,
bouncing.
hindi yung
Yes,
kautangan.
yes.
Mm.
So that's the difference between civil and criminal law.
Mm.
So now, when it comes to crimes or felonies under the revised penal code, no,
Mm.
of course, in order for you to be liable, you have there must be a finding that you actually committed the crime, no?
Okay.
And when we study the law, each different kind of crime, no, has different elements, no?
Okay.
Okay, and this goes into the stages of execution. We call it the stages of execution. We have attempted, frustrated, and consummated, no?
Okay. So
So
attempted, frustrated, consummated.
yes, yes.
Mm.
When we say consummated, I mentioned earlier, a crime has several elements. If
Mm.
all those elements were committed or are
Mm.
present, and the
Oh.
crime is committed, then consummated yun. Talagang may
Oo.
offense. No?
Meron.
But the difference now is when it comes to attempted and frustrated
Mm.
crimes. No?
Okay.
When you say attempted, no, the all the elements, no, any or one of them, it does not take place.
Mm.
Okay, because of an accident or some circumstance other than the spontaneous desistance of the person. In other words, no, he, kung siya mismo ang kusang nag-stop, if he stopped
Okay.
himself before he did the last element, okay, then hindi ka liable. But
Okay.
if he's going to do the crime and he was stopped because of an accident, let's say he's gonna shoot someone,
Tapos
and
may
then the
dumating na
barrel
motor.
jammed,
Oo.
or may dumating na motor,
Ah.
then it was not his spontaneous desistance, accident yun, he is guilty. He may be guilty of an attempted offense, no?
Okay.
Okay?
So, in-explain po
Yun.
natin ngayon yung mga degrees. Yung pagkakaiba ng frustrated, attempted, and consummated.
No? Pero pag frustrated, iba din naman yun. Okay? So, consummated, kompleto lahat ng elements ng offense. Attempted, may kulang na isa. But in frustrated, that's different, no? Remember,
go.
If attempted, you remember, no? May kulang na isang element.
Okay.
But in frustrated, no? All elements are present, but the offense or the crime is not produced by some other cause independent of his will, no?
Okay.
Okay? So yun lang yung difference, no? Dun sa attempted, hindi nagawa yung isang element. Pero dun sa frustrated, nagawa niya yung last element pero hindi nagawa yung krimen. Kumbaga, you wanted to kill the person but he did not die. So hindi yun.
You wanted to kill the person but he did not die.
So, let's say, ang lakas ng... we know someone who did not die. Di ba? Lakas ng tao niya.
Kaya attempted lang tuloy.
Hindi. Frustrated yun.
Frustrated. Nga pala. Sorry. Okay, frustrated.
Attempted kasi, merong isang hindi nangyari.
Okay.
Kumbaga, sasaksakin siguro, pero nabali bigla yung knife.
Okay.
Okay? Now, i-add pa natin, no? Yun kasi, those are the stages of execution. Iba yung liability ng mga yan. No?
Okay.
It can be lesser, no? It depends. But when it comes to an impossible crime, there's such a thing as an impossible crime.
Okay.
It is an offense, no, which is still punishable. Okay, it would have been a crime had it not been for the inherent impossibility. Okay, so let's give an example.
Okay, yes.
Kunyari, may gusto kang i-poison. Okay, bibigyan mo siya ng soup, sabaw.
Okay.
Lalagay mo saan? Arsenic. And nasa utak mo arsenic yun. But as it turns out, poison pala yun.
Okay.
And that person will not die because of, that was arsenic but he put salt pala. Salt.
Ayun. So, mali pala.
So, hindi siya, sorry, ano yung utak ko. Nalagay niya, asin lang pala. It was not arsenic. Okay? So, hindi talaga mamatay yung tao dun sa asin na yun.
Okay.
Okay? So, that's an impossible crime. Okay?
So, that's still liable? Liable pa rin yung tao?
Oo, liable pa rin siya. Because ganito kasi, in criminal law kasi, what is funny, wait, let me lay the foundation again. In criminal law, there are two kinds of offenses which are punished, no? These are known as mala in se or mala prohibita. When we say mala in se, they are wrongful in nature. Kumbaga, alam mo talaga morally masama ang murder. That's mala in se. But when it's mala prohibita, it's simply prohibited or made a crime because it is contained in a law, no?
Okay.
So in that case, in mala in se, pag it's wrongful in nature, you have to prove intent. So dun sa impossible crime kanina, meron talagang intent na patayin siya using arsenic in the soup.
Yep.
Okay, that's why he may be held liable.
Okay.
Okay, so those are intentional felonies.
Okay.
Yun. Okay?
Nice.
Now, when it comes to self-defense naman, no? If I may go na to self-defense.
Go.
Before we go to self-defense kasi, I had to speak of the stages of execution, no? Yung attempted, frustrated, and consummated. Because in case, let's say, of a consummated offense, no, yung kompleto lahat at nagawa yung krimen, there are also certain circumstances under the law when a person may either be not liable at all, or his liability may be reduced, or his liability may increase.
Okay.
So these are like justifying circumstances. We have the exempting circumstances. We have the mitigating circumstances. We have the aggravating circumstances.
Okay.
Isa-isahin ko yan. Pag justifying circumstance, kumbaga, parang wala kang ginawang krimen, no? The law considers the person to have not committed a crime because his acts are in accordance with law. Okay? Diyan pumapasok yung self-defense. Okay?
Yes.
You are technically committing a crime, but the law will not treat it as a crime because you're acting in accordance with the law.
Mhm.
Okay? Iba naman yung exempting. Okay? A
Okay.
crime is committed, but you are not liable. You are exempt from punishment. Okay?
Mhm.
Andito kasi sa exempting, no? For you to be liable, of course, your act in committing the crime must be voluntary. No?
Mhm.
You did it of your own free will.
Yes.
It must be intelligent. Okay? May tamang pag-iisip ka, hindi ka baliw, no?
Mm.
May tamang pag-iisip ka. And may freedom ka. Walang namimilit sa'yo. There is no other circumstance, no? So in exempting circumstances, you may have committed a crime, no, if you think about it, but you are exempt dahil na-affect yung freedom mo, na-affect yung intelligence mo, or na-affect yung freedom mo. Okay? So, yung now we can go to yung may mitigating pa pala, no? Ang mitigating naman, you're definitely liable. But because of the presence of certain circumstances, your liability will be reduced, okay?
Reduced.
Or may be reduced.
Mababawasan.
Kasi like yung isang example ng mitigating, yung voluntary surrender to the police. Okay? You committed a crime, but since you voluntarily surrendered, you are showing remorse. Okay? You did not intend to really do the crime. Stuff like that, no? In those cases, you will still be imposed a penalty, but it may be reduced. Okay? Yan yung mitigating circumstances. Tapos, aggravating naman, these increase the penalty. Okay? But up to the maximum provided by law. Kung kunyari ang penalty hanggang 6 years lang, hindi na pwede sumobra ng 6 years. Okay? But you may be given the maximum. Okay? So mangyayari din sa aggravating, it increases the penalty because of the greater perversity of the offender. Like, sorry for the graphic example, but one famous case is when a woman was raped and the man wrapped kogon grass around his genitals. No? That was an aggravating circumstance, no? Because he added ignominy or extra shame doon sa babaeng na rape na. Okay? So of course, he was given a greater penalty because of the aggravating circumstance.
So
okay?
pagdating sa aggravating, pinalala niya. Pinalala niya yung sitwasyon. Okay.
Oo. Dahil pinalala niya, dadagdagan na rin natin yung parusa mo. Okay? Ayun.
Okay.
And finally, we have yung mga alternative circumstances. Ito, mabilis lang to kasi alternative circumstances, yung intoxication, relationship, and education, no, they can be used either way. No? They can be used to lower the penalty or they can be used to increase the penalty. No? So, if habitual drunkard ka, intoxication will now be used to
defend
increase
you?
the penalty.
Increase the penalty. Okay.
Oo. Pero if you're not used to drinking, no, and mabilis ka malasing, no, it may be, take note, may lang naman, no, it may be used to reduce the penalty. Okay? It will depend, of course, on the facts of the case and the arguments of the lawyer, of course, no? So, ngayon, given all those, yung background na yan, yung mga foundation na yan, let's go to self-defense, no? Kasi we're martial artists, even though I'm not that active anymore, no?
Okay lang yan. Okay lang yan. Okay lang yan.
Here's the thing, no? I'm not sure how it is now, no, since I'm not active now. But when I used to train, I still remember it, no, na madalas sabihin na if you are in a fight, no, that you can avoid it.
Yes,
okay?
that is true.
And of course, you should not start fights. Okay? Definitely do not start fights. As a white belt, no, when I was younger, tendency kasi when you first learn, mapusok ka, you are aggressive. But as you mature through time, di ba? You tend to realize that there are people who are stronger than you. You should be more respectful. No, you don't use what you have learned in self-defense to bully other people or to get your way, di ba?
Yep.
No,
Tsaka,
I'm sure
natural progression na rin siya. It's the natural progression for everyone who started learning martial arts. And then later on, they will realize that it is something that should be used for positivity. It shouldn't be something that you utilize in order to start fights. And ano rin naman, I mean, from urban legends to all the rumor mills din naman, most of the things that happened before, hindi naman tayo yung nagsimula eh. 'Di ba? Tayo lang yung tumapos. 'Di ba? I mean, everyone will always have their claim, pero at the end of the day, when you break it down to its core and you look for the root cause of the problem, how everything started, I could definitely look people in the eye, at least the ones that I got involved in. I'm like, we never started this. We didn't start that fight, di ba? It just so happens na kami yung tumapos. So, wala. Kami yung bad boys. kami yung masama. Kami yung nang-upa. Kami yung bully. Pero, you know what I mean? And like, that's why these are the things that I want to discuss. Kasi, di ba, first person to walk out of a fight. I always do. I've walked out on so many fights. As in, ano yan, sasabihin, bakla ka pala eh. Sasabihin ko, bakla ako, yan. Pero at least, alam ko sa sarili ko, umuwi akong buhay, umuwi yung buhay yung mga kasama ko, walang nangyari sa amin. Ako lang kasi, the gray area will just come into play pag wala na eh. There are just certain situations where wala na, lumapit na, or they started touching you, or they started hitting the people that you're with. Wala eh, di ba? So at least now, we can discuss that freely. And again, everything that we're all talking about happened in the past. It's like during our younger years. Age din na kabobohan. Okay.
Everything you said so far, no, is consistent naman with how self-defense should work, no? And the very first requisite, no, for you to invoke self-defense, no, is unlawful aggression. But actually, before I go through the discussion on self-defense, one more thing, no? When you invoke self-defense in trial, no, I'll be talking a bit about practice, no? Kasi in reality, when it happens in the court, no, when you claim that you should not be held liable, or that you are innocent, or that you are not guilty, and you claim self-defense as your defense, no, in court, what happens is you are admitting that you committed the offense. Okay? You committed a crime. And now, as a general rule, kasi, sige, sorry, I think I have to lay more.
Go. This is helpful.
It starts kasi with the Constitution, no? And under the Constitution, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that. It's very, very common, no? Ngayon, because of that presumption of innocence, no, the burden of proof to prove, no, na the crime was actually committed and the accused is guilty lies with the prosecution.
Yep.
Okay? So, pag kinasuhan ka ng prosecutor, ng private individual, no, they have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that you are guilty. And if they cannot prove it, then laya ka, innocent ka, because you are presumed innocent. Okay? And that's also one of the differences between civil case and criminal cases. No? Sa civil case, preponderance of evidence lang. Kumbaga yung scales of justice, okay? Kailangan lang nung taong nagka-file ng kaso, pababain konti yung evidence niya. No? Kailangan mas matimbang lang kahit konti. Okay? In that case, kung pantay sila, talo yung nagkaso. Why? Because it's equal. The plaintiff must prove na he is entitled to his claim. But it's different in case of the criminal prosecution, no? Hindi lang konti, no? It is beyond reasonable doubt. So mas matimbang dapat ang ebidensya. And this is actually the hardest, the weightiest quantum of proof, no? Yung beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? It has to be beyond the shadow of a doubt na guilty talaga yung tao. Okay? So, that said, no, ngayon, pagdating sa self-defense, as I said, you have to, you are impliedly admitting that you committed the crime, but you are now saying that you are not liable for it because I was performing an act in accord with the law, which is self-defense. Because the law authorizes, pinapayagan ng batas na depensahan mo ang sarili mo. Dahil pinapayagan ng batas, hindi ka dapat makulong. Okay?
Okay.
So, ngayon, dito sa unlawful aggression, no? What you need the very first element is the existence of unlawful aggression.
Mm.
And unlawful aggression is simply aggression that is not in accord with law, no? Slap to the face is considered unlawful aggression.
Mm.
But take note, no? Mere attempt to draw a gun or even drawing a gun is not necessarily unlawful aggression.
Mm.
Okay? There must be, the aggression must of course be unlawful. No?
Mm.
He has no right to perform that act. Okay?
Okay.
So, the unlawful aggression must also be actual,
Mm.
talagang nangyayari, and it must be imminent, no? Parating
Okay.
na. Kasi kung matagal pa pala mangyayari, there is no reason for the second requisite, which is the reasonable necessity of the means employed to prevent or repel it. I'll break it down a little, no?
Go.
Kanina, kapag may unlawful aggression, may aggression toward you. Parang, what is this person doing to me? That is, he is disrespecting my right. Okay?
Mm.
So it's violating the law. Now, you will go to the second requisite, which requires that you are going to prevent or repel, okay? Papapipigilan mo siya, or you will repel what he is trying to do to you.
Okay.
Now, take note of the qualifying words. If you're going to prevent his aggression, okay, or if you're going to repel his aggression, the means that you use, they have to be reasonable.
Mm.
And how do we know they're reasonable, okay? The law does not require na equal talaga sila, okay?
Mm.
Hindi ibig sabihin na kung kamay ang gamit sa'yo, kamay ka din. Or kung baril ang gamit sa'yo, baril din. No, not necessarily, no? But, okay, there are certain instances which will lead the court to deny your claim of self-defense, such as when the aggression is may ipagsapakan sa'yo, pero ikaw, binaril mo siya.
Okay.
Hindi pantay naman yung baril sa
suntukan.
But there is also, it will always depend on the facts of the case, no? Kung kunyari, kaya siya naglabas ng baril kasi yung naghamon ng suntukan ay si Pacquiao, then he is justified because Pacquiao is a very good boxer.
Yes.
Now, you can argue that it is now commensurate, no? Di ba? Medyo pantay na siguro yung baril sa... Okay, but that's not, I'm not saying that that is a foolproof argument, but
yes,
it is
it's
reasonable.
a reasonable explanation.
Oo, di ba?
Yep.
So, and the final element in self-defense is lack of sufficient provocation on the party defending himself. In other words, you did not taunt him, you did not tease him, okay? Because if in that case, ikaw ang may kasalanan. So, hindi ka magsi-self-defend. Kung tinawag mo siyang bakla, kung tinawag mong puta, yung nanay niya, no? In that case, you are provoking the person, which is why he caused the unlawful aggression. And then if you're going to defend yourself, no, the court will not grant that. Okay? There should be no provocation. Or even if there is konting provocation, it should not be sufficient. No? Kung kunyari, nagjo-joke tayo, obviously nagjo-joke tayo kunyari, no? And then, niloko kita, tas napikon ka. And that's not, hindi mo ko masisisi na napikon ka, nagjo-joke nga tayo, nag-aasaran tayo. Di ba? So, in that case, no, that will not be considered, pasok pa rin yan sa self-defense kasi you're not provoking that person to attack you. Why will you attack me for a simple joke, diba?
Yes.
So what the law requires is you did not provoke that person who unleashed aggression on you, or kung nag-provoke ka man, it should not be sufficient to make him attack you.
Okay, teka lang. So ano na tayo? So at least na-lay down na natin yung foundations for the self-defense, and then we go to the next topic.
And I want to give a few additional notes.
Go.
Yung kasi there is a tendency, no, when a person gets so fired up, no, in defending himself, lalo na kung marunong, no, ang mangyayari kasi, there is a tendency for you to keep going. Do not keep going. Okay? There are certain rules here, no. The means you use to prevent or repel the aggression should just be enough, no, to make the unlawful aggression cease or stop.
Okay.
Pag natapos na yung pananampal ni Frieza sa example kanina, tigil ka na.
Okay.
No? Because otherwise, you're no longer defending yourself, no? In in a different case, no? If you shoot one bullet to stop the guy, no? Don't shoot 26 bullets in succession. Because yung trip mo nun, di ba?
Okay,
You will now
yeah.
be able to go. Okay?
Okay.
So once the person stops, or especially in another case, no? If the person now starts to run away, do not run after him. Because if you run after him, hindi na yung self-defense. You are now committing a new crime.
Okay.
Okay? Kung mapatay mo, posibleng homicide, posibleng murder, depende na. Okay? So do not run after him because now the unlawful aggression has ceased. Wala ka ng rason mag-claim ng self-defense because ang goal mo lang sa self-defense is to prevent or repel the aggression, which is why eksakto sa atin ang jiu-jitsu eh. Eksakto sa self-defense rather, no? Because in jiu-jitsu, no, you learn how to immobilize your opponent,
neutralize,
to immobilize. Oo, diba? You are not out to destroy their face. You are not out to, well, sanay tayo na we don't literally break the bones, di ba? Sanay tayo na stop, let go, okay? So do not break it because otherwise, you may be liable for a different offense, no? Posibleng, again, homicide or serious physical injuries, etc. Plus, also, another note pa, no? Sometimes, your knowledge of martial arts may work against you. Kaya you have to make sure na siya talaga ang nauna. Siya ang may kagagawan ng unlawful aggression. Because kung ikaw ang nauna, kung ako abogado ng kabila, I will say that you are taking advantage of your superior strength, which will be an aggravating circumstance for you na tataas yung penalty mo.
Okay?
So again, which is why martial artists should always remember to use what they know only for self-defense or for the protection of others. By the way, no, ang self-defense extends not only to the defense of yourself, but also to the defense of your family and also to the defense of a stranger.
Okay? At least that is good.
There are other rules there, no? Pero just for now, no? The self-defense can be used for your family and for a stranger. Okay? But always remember, no, dapat siya ang nauna.
Nagsimula.
Okay? Now, maybe we should go to arrests, no? Kasi once you commit the offense, no? Or you defend yourself, darating na yung police dyan.
Yes.
Okay? And more likely than not, you will be arrested, no? Or kung hindi ka man arrested, you will be invited for questioning. Which is where the Bill of Rights comes in, no? And the Bill of Rights is very important, no? Especially in times like these, no? To make the discussion on the Bill of Rights very easy, no? We can take the speech of Miriam, something that Miriam Defensor Santiago said in a speech before, no? Na even if you take away all the rights in the Bill of Rights, you can find them all in the very first provision of the Bill of Rights, which is that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Ito yung narinig nating due process. Kailangan natin yung due process na yan, no? And due process is simple, no? The due process, dalawang forms yan. The substantive due process simply requires that the law must be reasonable. Okay, there's a reason why the law is being created, no, for the benefit of many, of the whole country, no, ganyan, no. But the other important aspect is yung procedural, which has been a hot topic, no, in the past few years. Yung procedural due process talks about yung essence of procedural due process rather is the right to be heard. Okay? You should always be given the right to be heard. Okay? And this is important because when it comes to being arrested, no, especially in the case of self-defense, kung ikaw ang gumawa ng self-defense, alam mo sa utak mo that you are innocent. Plus, you have the Constitution on your side. The Constitution says you are innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty. So if someone's accusing you that you committed a crime, pwede bang ikulong ka niya kaagad-agad dahil lang nakita niya na there's someone lying down, beaten bloody, and you're beside him? No. You are entitled to be heard, and you're entitled to defend yourself by saying, either, no, hindi ako gumawa niyan, or no, I was simply defending myself. Yan yung right to be heard sa due process.
Okay.
You have to be able to defend yourself. Okay?
Mm.
And due process also requires that in case of criminal cases, no, it also requires that the hearing be conducted in front of a court that has jurisdiction. Now, important tong jurisdiction kasi. Okay? Jurisdiction can be over the person, over the subject matter, no? But let's talk about jurisdiction over the person. When you
Okay.
say jurisdiction over the person, okay? Jurisdiction, let's define jurisdiction lang muna, no? Jurisdiction is simply the power and authority of the court to hear and try cases, no?
Uh-huh.
Because without jurisdiction, walang magagawa ang korte sa'yo. Okay? The court has to acquire jurisdiction over the person and the subject matter in order for it to come out with a decision that will affect you. Diba? Hindi ka naman na-affect ng kaso ng tao na nasa RTC Muntinlupa, diba? Kasi anong pakialam mo doon? There is the court has no jurisdiction over you in that case. Okay? So, in criminal cases, how does the court acquire jurisdiction over the person para ma-affect yung taong yon? There are only two ways, no? First of that could be by voluntary surrender. If the accused goes to police and voluntarily surrenders. Wala tayong problema dyan. Kasi voluntary naman eh. But the issue now comes in the second way in which the court acquires jurisdiction, which is through arrest. Okay? Now, a lot of people have mistaken notions about arrests, no? Ang warrant, hindi yan kailangan parati. Okay? There are certain arrests that are valid even without a warrant. This goes into the nature of what happened, no? Kasi ganito yan, if a police officer, there are actually 3 cases when a warrant of arrest is not needed in order to arrest. First, no, yung in flagrante delicto, meaning it's happening in front of the eyes of the police officer. Kitang-kita niya na you're doing the crime. Of course, he can arrest you.
That's true.
No? Pero when the other two naman, yung second is hot pursuit, no? When the police officer has personal knowledge, no, that a crime has just been committed, no? Narinig niya or nakita niya sa malayo, no? Oy, parang sinaksak niya. And he runs after that offender. Okay, that is also a valid warrant of arrest, no? In some people have asked me before na isn't having to obtain warrant a delay of time makakatakas yung offender, and the answer to that is very easy, no? If you can see the crime happening, okay, or if it just happened and you are close to it, no, then the police officer can arrest that person naman even without a warrant. Okay, but the final case, no, the third instance where the warrant is not needed is in case of a prisoner who is escaping.
Okay. Siyempre.
So we don't need to talk about that, no? Okay. So if the case does not fall under those, then kailangan ng warrant. Okay? So ano mangyayari? So let's say Goku nga beats up Frieza. Okay? And then may dumating si Vegeta sa yung police. Now, he arrests both of them. In procedure, no? If Vegeta saw them or narinig niya tapos pinuntahan niya, so pasok yun sa valid arrest na walang warrant, di ba?
Yep.
Okay lang na walang warrant kasi nakita nga niya or hot pursuit, no? In that case, ang mangyayari na ngayon, magkaka-inquest.
Okay.
Pero, okay, dun sa inquest, it will be that is where you determine kung if there is probable cause to keep them in jail, to hold them for trial. Okay? Pero kung si Vegeta na police, hindi niya nakita yung si Goku na beating up Frieza, or hindi niya narinig, hindi yan hot pursuit, then kung hindi pasok dun sa dalawang instances na yun, or yung escaping prisoner, no? In those cases, kailangan ni Vegeta pumunta sa judge
kumuha ng warrant.
Warrant. Diba? So now, understandable, kasi it's clear naman eh. If it's not happening, okay, lalo na kung chismis lang, why will a policeman arrest you? No? that is a grave violation of your rights.
Okay.
Okay? You can only be arrested either if the policeman sees you committing a crime, if it's hot pursuit, and otherwise, kailangan niya kumuha ng warrant sa judge. And now this is important, no? It is the determination of whether a warrant is necessary is given to the judge because it is the judge with his knowledge of the laws that will determine kung tama ba na talaga ba nating bibigyan ng warrant si Vegeta. Okay? Because Vegeta has to prove through an affidavit and evidence that a crime has been committed or is being committed or is about to be committed. No, he just has to satisfy the discretion of the judge na to issue a warrant para ma-arrest niya yung mga tao. And this can be done in several ways. No, I mean, it's up to the police na. No, they can conduct surveillance, they can conduct kung ano man method. No, stakeout, whatever. Okay? And based on the evidence that they gather, submit nila kay judge and mag-issue ng warrant. Sa kanila pupuntahan yung tao, arrest na.
Okay.
Yun. Ngayon, if Vegeta did not see the crime and he's not applying for a warrant, what about a private citizen lang who wants to file a case? Paano yan? Well, a private citizen can arrest din naman. May citizen's arrest. Pero of course, the crime has to be right in front of his eyes, no? Hot pursuit eh. Otherwise, kung kunyari yung mga crimes like estafa or any other crime, the only way you can prosecute that is you now have to go to the prosecutor and file a case for preliminary investigation.
Okay?
Yun. Okay? There's a difference kasi. No? Kaya mahaba yung intro ko kasi yung inquest and yung preliminary investigation parang magkatapat lang yan. Both yung function nila pareho, yung function nila is the same, no? They determine if there is probable cause to detain the individual, no? To hold him for trial.
Okay.
So sa inquest, nangyayari lang yan dahil na-arrest yung mga accused without a warrant. Okay. So direkta na, diretsong inquest na. But if if he did not see it, no, or if it's a private citizen who wants to file a case, you go to the prosecutor, file your case, file your evidence, no, and ask the prosecutor to determine if there is probable cause to file a case against them. And now the prosecutor will go to court. He will file the information with the court, and the court will now issue a warrant if it allows the filing of the case. Okay. So ganun yung process. Okay. So, ganun, yun lang, Frank, no?
So, pagdating natin doon kay arrest, like from sabihin na natin, so let's go to the procedure of the actual arrest. So, police comes over, they arrest you. So, what are the procedures for that? Or what are the things that people have to look for?
As a private citizen, no? As a private citizen, there is what is known as yung Miranda rights, no? And it is the obligation of the policeman to read you your rights. These are known as Miranda rights because they were first came out in the case of the Miranda case in the USA, no? Okay? And ito yung common that we see on TV, in movies, na you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you. Okay? You are entitled to a lawyer, no? And the other rights of the accused. Okay? When Goku, for instance, is arrested by Vegeta, the first thing I would advise to Goku is to keep quiet.
Okay. Yan, importante yan.
Sa totoo lang, no? Especially for my friends who are watching, no? Sa totoo lang, naaawa ako sa ibang mga tao na nahuhuli and they talk to media. Do not talk to
media.
Because when you talk to media, the court may consider that as a confession. Okay? Now, there is a difference. Okay, there is a difference. If you give an uncounseled, meaning you do not have your counsel, your lawyer with you. If you do not have your lawyer with you and you give a confession to the police, that evidence may be declared inadmissible and struck off the records. Meaning that, no, if in the course of trial, yun lang yung ebidensya ng police para makonvict ka, yung confession mo. Tapos, I am able to show that your confession is invalid because it was given without the presence of a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
then you are free.
Okay.
You are free.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the first thing. As much as possible, keep quiet. Okay? Respect your right to remain silent.
Okay.
Second, doon pumapasok yung anything you say can be used against you.
Mm.
Kasi nga, pag sinabi ka dito kay Vegeta, no, na policeman, he may use that against you in a court of law. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So ngayon, the next thing I will advise is that you get a lawyer. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kung posible, keep your lawyer friend's number or your engaged lawyer's number in your cell phone. Kung pwede, speed dial mo na. Okay? Because your lawyer should be there to protect you.
Yep.
Okay? Yun. Okay? So those are the two most important tips I can give to a person who is about to or has been arrested.
Okay. So in terms of getting arrested, so for example, like in your let's use your previous example. So once the arresting officer arrives at the scene and brings you to the prison, how long can they detain you until formal charges are given or are laid down on you? Kasi, 'di ba, like during investigation ba, are you gonna be set free or are you gonna stay in the precinct? 'Di ba? Ano bang procedure doon?
You can be detained, no, after the arrest. You can be detained. However, there is a law, no, under the revised penal code, no, yung criminal law natin, no, of illegal detention, no,
Okay.
or delay in the delivery of detained persons, no. So in other words, ibig lang sabihin, pag na-arrest ka and you're brought to the precinct, the police can only hold you for a certain number of hours. Otherwise, if they don't find charges, etc., then they will have to release you. Okay? And now the number of hours will depend on the crime that is being charged against you. Okay? For light offenses, 20 hours lang. Okay, so it depends. I won't go through each and every crime.
Pero for example, there's a prescribed number of hours that you can be held inside the precinct. Now, who determines the number of hours? Like, sino nagta-time keep? Hindi, sino nagta-time keep? Like, like, the moment na pumasok ka dun sa presinto? Or, kasi yung iba, like, I hear there are certain cases wherein 12 hours, 18 hours, 48 to 72 hours. Pero yung iba kasi, they end up staying there a lot longer simply because it's either the precincts are stalling or they just don't want to release that person. Like who can victims or people run up to? For example,
in my experience, no, when I go to assist people, no, or clients in the police station, no, it's the duty of the police officer to record the time of the arrest, so that we can determine how long that accused has been detained.
Okay.
So if they go past that, no, then they will be liable, no. Yung maximum nito, kasi ano lang naman, it's either 12 hours, it's 18 hours, or 36 hours. So ang maximum that you can be held is 36 hours. Okay?
So pag lumampas si 36 hours, tapos hindi pa rin siya nire-release, the police officers can be held liable for that.
Yes, for violation of the yun. Okay? So dapat maka-file ka agad ng either for inquest or
and let's go back to sige, go. Let's go back to the self-defense provisions. So as previously discussed, everything has to be at a certain degree. And then yung mga how do we determine what is commensurate? Like for example, sampal, sinapak. I mean, these are things na sometimes that are beyond your control or your emotions. So ano yung mga mitigating factors?
Well, number one, it is really not up to us, no, as private individuals to determine, no, especially in the heat of the moment, as you said, no, because you're no longer in full control of your
Emotions.
faculties, no?
Uh-huh.
So it is the court who will really determine kung reasonable nga bang ginamit mo.
Mm-hmm.
So siguro when you're in the situation, the best thing to do if you can is to keep presence of mind, which
Mm-hmm.
is when training will come in handy. If you
Mm.
have been trained properly, you will not exceed what has been taught to you. Diba? Hindi ka naman,
Mhm.
you will not attempt to perform an action which you did not learn in the first place. No?
Mhm.
So hopefully, if sanay ka na nag-iingat ka, hindi ka mamabali talaga, hindi ka papatay,
Mhm.
then you have nothing to worry about. Okay,
Mhm.
but of course, keep your emotions in check. No. So to answer your question as to the reasonableness, no, from what I can remember in different cases, a stone has been held commensurate with a knife.
Mhm.
Okay lang na pinagpatay niya ba to kasi may
Hawak na
kutsilyo.
kutsilyo. Okay.
Okay? Actually, to be honest, no, it will really depend on the circumstances of the case, no.
Mhm.
If both persons are using their fists,
Mhm.
but one is a martial artist, then that is of course not commensurate, no. And
Uh-huh.
yung example natin kanina, knife or gun against Manny Pacquiao, may be argued to be reasonable because
Mhm.
magaling si Pacquiao.
Mhm.
Gun to gun would
Mhm.
be equal, would
Mhm.
be reasonable, unless of course the other person is a skilled marksman, no, magaling
Mhm.
bumaril.
So
Like
I
I
mean,
said, no,
given the circumstances, like for example, martial artist versus average person, and then of course, pag nagkaroon naman ng altercations, like for example, traffic altercations or traffic encounters, 'di ba? Hindi naman magkakilala yung mga yun eh, 'di ba? Hindi naman sila magkakilala. Then
yes.
eventually,
Oo.
they end up in a fist fight. Of course, they won't know who is the better person, who is the martial artist until magsuntukan sila. So what is the point of differentiation? Like for example, since kasi now lalabas ngayon, anybody can just say, wala man ako alam, martial artist pala siya. Wala akong alam, boksingero pala siya eh. So, what is the line that we can draw other than,
That's in the
oh,
moment.
yun nga eh, di
That's in the
ba?
moment.
Di ba?
Pero
That's
kasi
in the
pagdating na
moment.
sa korte, yung naagrabyado, yung hindi nag-claim ng self-defense, na yung naupakan,
Oo, kasi siya
syempre
lagi
later
eh. Oo, yun yung
Oo nga,
sasabihin niya.
he will find out na, uy, martial artist pala yan. And
Mhm.
now, he will use that argument para matalo yung taong yon. So, which is why you have to be prepared. Okay?
Mm.
Kasi syempre, naupakan siya. Gusto niyang gumante. No?
Mhm.
So, sabihin niya, hindi yan self-defense. So, dapat liable ka.
Mhm.
Okay? Makulong ka ngayon.
Mm.
Kasi makaganti na siya by that way, no?
Mm.
So ngayon, the duty of the martial artist talaga is to follow what I said earlier.
Mhm.
No? The tips I gave.
Mm.
Na number one talaga, the best one is if you can avoid it, avoid
Yes.
the fight.
Yeah.
Yun talaga ang best. Number two, dapat siya ang mauna. Wag na wag
Okay.
ikaw.
Okay. Malinaw yun.
As I
Malinaw
said,
yun,
there
mga
should be-
tao. Ha? Kayo magsimula.
Hindi ikaw dapat ang magsisimula. No? Ngayon, that's the first requisite niya eh. There should be unlawful aggression, meaning siya ang nag-aagresibo sa'yo.
Mhm.
Okay, ikaw relax ka. Okay, or sige, kahit agit ka, basta sumisigaw ka lang nandiyan sa malayo. Siya ang nag-attack sa'yo.
Okay.
Okay?
So, can we
Kasi,
can we count like for example, binangga ka? Like for scenario, binangga yung kotse mo, nandun yung pamilya mo, bad trip ka, heat of the moment, boba ka, naupakan mo yung bumangga sa'yo. Wala.
That's not unlawful. No.
Okay.
You can shout, fine. Shout at him, sige. Don't shout libelous words, but shout. Magalit ka, that's understandable. But don't beat him up. Kasi pwede ka na niya kasuhan ng physical injuries, whether slight or serious, no? Posible.
Siyempre, kasi you have to, can it be argued later on na parang siyempre, nakasakay sa akin yung pamilya ko, binangga niya yung sasakyan ko eh.
But while it may be unlawful o posibleng criminal negligence yan or whatever, while it may be unlawful, hindi yan aggression directed at you eh. Okay? It was not intended to harm you. Unless, of course, you find out na gusto niyang patayin ka pala or
Okay,
pamilya mo, no?
so if it was just damage from, so kung property to property, yun na yun. Okay.
Isa na yan. But isa na rin yan yung property damage. No? Pero the point I'm making is, he had no intent to kill you by bumping your car.
Okay. So
Okay?
at least na yan.
So wala kang rason para balikan siya.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Kasi ang ano yun eh, so that we can just kasi of course those are just like top of the head things that come into play na parang okay, kasi especially ikaw, if you're a parent and you're looking after the welfare of your family and then that happens, syempre you these are very emotional things. And
kaya ang advice ko sa situation na yan, na nabangga, baba ka. Sige, fine, baba ka. Magalit ka. Pero stop ka bago pupakan. Hanggang sigaw ka lang.
Hanggang sigaw lang.
Pag siya ang nanapak, you can now say, I'm now defending myself.
Okay. Okay. So yun yung line. At least we set parameters.
But of course, follow the next one, follow the next tip I gave, which is once na nag-stop na yung unlawful aggression, tigil ka na rin. Okay? Pag kunyari na-mount mo na, alam mo na martial arts ka, so you know that you can't do anything effective. Your only task at that point in time is to immobilize him.
Okay.
Huwag mo nang puruhan.
Okay. So again, that's a very, very, very helpful tip. And then another one, syempre, we cannot avoid these things. Yung mga, it's either sila yung nang hahamon or these are like your stupid idiots, your hecklers, people who just want to test you. Diba? So again, do we fall back to the same provisions like pacification, neutralization, and then nothing beyond that? Okay. So at least everything is a lot clearer now. Actually, everything is a lot clearer in terms of the guidelines on how people can react. So at least we can set the premise that everything has to be reactive. Is it safe to say na ganon na everything has to be reactive muna?
Yeah. Presence of mind lang, Okay? Yun lang. Okay, pwede na yun.
For women, like they're being attacked, napatayin nila, are there provisions in the law na?
The most would be, off the top of my head, the most would be battered woman syndrome. Okay. Battered woman syndrome can be used as self-defense, as an argument for self-defense. And this happens when a woman who has undergone the 3 stages of battered woman syndrome will kill or possibly hurt the husband, or the partner. Okay. And there are 3 stages here. No, it's a psychological condition kasi. Okay, there is the peaceful stage, then there is the acute battering incident, and then there is a period of reconciliation, if I'm not mistaken, if I can remember correctly. So this is a cycle, So they're okay, and then suddenly something triggers the man, or the partner, and he hurts the woman, he batters her badly, and then there is a period of reconciliation, yung sinusuyo, okay, after the abuse, and then it will begin all over again. Which is why we have battered. Yung battered woman na napuno na, and in case napuno siya, she suddenly gets a knife while she binubugbog siya. She gets a knife and she stabs the guy. Okay, that has been allowed as a ground of self-defense, no?
Okay. So it doesn't matter like the time frame. How about the time frame? Like, does it have to happen during the moment? Like, for example, binubugbog ka, you got the knife and then sinaksak mo siya. So how about that? Pero
more often dapat ganon, but the more important thing is they have to prove the cycle. That there is actually a pattern of abuse. Okay? Kasi kung one incident lang yan, medyo mas mahirap yun. That will just fall under ordinary self-defense. So dapat may unlawful aggression, reasonable necessity of the means, and yung lack of sufficient provocation, no? Pero if you want to invoke the battered woman syndrome, you have to prove the pattern. No? It's usually over a period of time.
Oh, kasi for example, battered woman syndrome or battered woman ka tapos um and hindi ka makareact dahil syempre if your partner is bigger than you, pero paano like all of a sudden you had an opportunity to fight back and then wala namang ginagawa sa'yo pero yun the opportunity is there, di ba? Na ano ka na, nawala ka na sa wisyo, sinaksak mo na siya, can it be used like to like pasok ba siya doon sa provisions ni
Oo,
battered woman syndrome?
oo. As long as you prove the fact of battery, saka yung pag-uulit ng pattern. Okay? It
Mm-hmm.
has to be a pattern.
What else? Like you mentioned a while ago na you can use self-defense to protect yourself, your family, and strangers. What are the provisions to protect strangers?
Well, yung the first one no on self-defense, yung for the self, no is Article 11 of the Revised Penal Code, no
Mhm.
yung criminal law ng
Okay.
Pilipinas. And yung sa family and sa stranger, they're the ones that are immediately following, no? Bali Article 12 and Article 13, no?
Mhm.
Alright. Wait, I'm sorry, no? I'll correct myself, no? Defense of the self is Article 11, paragraph 1, no?
Mm.
And yung family is paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 yung stranger. Okay? So
Okay.
they're all in one one article lang ng revised penal code.
Okay.
Now when it's the family, ang kasama dito yung spouse, ascendants, descendants, or legitimate or even adopted brothers or sisters, no?
Okay, pati
Or the
adopted.
relatives. Oo. Pati yung relatives by affinity within the same degrees. You have to count the degrees, yung first
Mhm.
degree, ganyan, no? Okay? Kasama din dito yung mga consanguinity within the fourth civil degree, no?
Okay.
So ngayon, kailangan lang talaga na there is a reasonable necessity. No? Yung unlawful aggression, hindi na kailangan yan ngayon. Kasi hindi naman ikaw yung inaagresibohan, no? Yung family member mo. Okay? But what is necessary is that there is reasonable necessity of the means, yung pinag-usapan na natin yung kanina, and you did not provoke, or the family member did not provoke the assailant, no?
Mhm.
Yun. But when it comes to a stranger, no? Kailangan na may unlawful aggression and kailangan when you are defending a stranger, you are not induced by revenge. You're not taking revenge on the person that you are defending the stranger from. Kasi
Okay.
kung kunyari si Frieza is beating up Goku, no? And Vegeta will now come to save Goku by beating up Frieza. Kung may grudge pala tong si Vegeta kay Frieza.
Kay Frieza. Okay.
Opportunity ko na to para umupakan siya. Hindi ba yun?
Okay.
Hindi ba yan?
Okay.
Okay? So, yun.
I asked that question kasi I could definitely coming from personal experience. Ako kasi sige, I'll lay down the story first kasi if I see like for example yung mga shota na inuupakan yung mga shota nila sa kalsada and then everyone's just watching, sabi ko, pare, huwag mong gawin yan. I mean, is that within my right to do that?
Let me just correct myself pala earlier. No?
Sige, go.
I got the provision on the defense of the family. May nabaliktad lang ako. No?
Sige, okay.
I mentioned earlier na hindi necessary yung unlawful aggression. Sorry, that is always required. No? Unlawful aggression.
Unlawful aggression required.
As always exists. No? There must be unlawful aggression toward the family member. No? Ang mangyari dito sa family member, no, is that unlawful aggression, reasonable necessity of the means, and that the provocation was given by that in case the provocation was given by the person attacked, yung nagde-defend hindi naki-provoke. Hindi siya umepal.
Okay, hindi siya umepal. Okay yun.
Kasi kung yung family member mo, kung yung tatay mo, nanay mo, whatever, siya yung may rason kung bakit siya in-attack, ikaw hindi ka nakisali.
Okay.
Because in that case, you are provoking him. So you have no right to claim na, I'm just defending her. Ulol mo, hindi.
Nakigatong ka. Diba? So, ayun. again, the reason why I asked especially the part about the strangers is because yun nga, I have like probably hindi naman madalas, like buti naman hindi madalas. Siguro like there's probably like 3 times wherein I saw yun yung mga LQ, yung mga nag-aaway sa kalye. Pero yun nga, pag nagsisigawan, papabayaan mo lang yan, tatawanan mo. Pero the moment I saw the guy started pounding on the girl, medyo sinasabi ko, uy, pare, medyo relax ka lang. Sasabi ko, pare, relax ka lang. Wag mo upakan yung babae. So, did I act within my bounds? Kasi ito yun eh. My problem is, whatever it is that you're fighting about, the moment you start hitting the girl in public, tapos everyone was just watching. Everyone was just watching. So para ako, teka, para sa akin kasi mali na yun. So para sinabihan ko lang, hindi ko siya, I didn't touch the guy, I didn't do anything. I was like, bro, sabi ko, pare, okay lang mag-away kayo, wag mo siyang upakan. Hindi tama yan. So did I act within my bounds, and up to what point am I allowed to act?
Well, number one, kung salita lang naman ginawa mo, wala kang problema. You did not do anything. You just spoke. No? If you're able to stop them, hindi great. Wala kang problema. Yung problema lang is if naupakan mo or napatay mo, no? You can only say that you're coming in defense of the stranger, no? Kasi una, kung may unlawful aggression, okay? And nakita mo naman, inuupakan yung babae, no? You can say, you can argue that there is unlawful aggression being committed on the woman. Tapos reasonable ba yung means na ginamit mo? Okay, hindi ka naman gumamit ng baril, hindi ka naman gumamit ng kutsilyo. Pasok pa rin naman yan. No?
Okay.
And finally, no, you are not induced by revenge or other ill motive. Kung hindi mo naman kilala yung lalaki.
Hindi mo kilala.
So there's no ill motive, or kahit yung pangit ng sapatos niya, wala namang ganun. I'm just kidding, by the way. Baka sinasabi niya. Basta you're not motivated by revenge or other evil motive, no? Okay?
So para at least then, that's just clear. So as long as you're just reaching out or you're doing your best to help another individual not get physically harmed, then that's fine. And then of course, as Attorney Paolo just mentioned, there are certain requisites. Just stay within the bounds of those premises or the jurisdiction of the law. Then you're more or less good to go. And I love the fact that you mentioned si battered woman syndrome, kasi for sure maraming babaeng dumadaan sa ganyan na ang katwiran nila tapos na kasi, nangyari na, baka hindi nila pwedeng balikan yon, or hindi nila pwedeng gamitin yung past experiences nila to defend themselves or build up on their case. At least now, whoever's gonna watch and learn from this is gonna be guided by the concepts that we discussed, diba? So that applies. Okay, go.
Let me just check now, no? Just to make the 3 stages of the battered woman syndrome clear, no? The first stage is the tension building phase, no?
Okay.
So nagbi-build na yung tension, okay? So parang it can be verbal abuse, slight physical abuse, parang you can imagine na lang, no? And then comes the acute battering incident. Okay, doon na talaga yung naupakan. And the final one is the tranquil loving phase, or at least non-violent. Doon na siguro yung reconciliation, yung okay na kayo, and then doon na babalik ulit. Okay? Which is still practically in line with what I mentioned earlier. I just wanted to give the exact words.
So, ano pa ba? Like, top of go.
We also have the Violence Against Women and Children Act.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so kasi you were speaking about battered women syndrome, no? So andyan din ang Violence Against Women and Children Act, no? And there can be this is added protection to women who are in a dating relationship or a married relationship, as well as protection for children, no? Meron dyan barangay protection orders, temporary protection orders, etc., etc.
Okay. So at least these are the provisions that people can be guided, like moving forward. And then, ano ba yung, can you differentiate in the best and the simplest way possible, like these simple terms like homicide, manslaughter, murder, tsaka sige, yung tatlo muna na yun. Kasi they're always being used all, may lagi siyang naririnig pero hindi na differentiate ng mga tao.
Well, madali lang naman, no? Ang first lang naman is wala tayong manslaughter dito sa Pilipinas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we only have homicide and murder.
Okay.
Okay, and the only difference is that in case of murder, there are certain circumstances that attend the commission of the crime, meaning like nighttime. No, the offender or the person who caused murder did it in the night, or he took advantage of the cover of the night, no? Or he is guilty of evident premeditation, meaning pinano niya talaga na ganito ko gagawin yung krimen, no? Or if he takes a treachery, like stab in the back, no? Ganon, okay? So, yun yung difference ng murder sa homicide. Homicide is yung killing of the person without those qualifying circumstances.
Okay. Parang ano to, like spur of the moment or bigla na lang nangyari?
Just depends. So, ang ganito na lang, ang general rule is pag may napatay ka, homicide yan.
Okay.
Pero pag may na-prove yung prosecution circumstances, like you took advantage of the night, or you were treacherous in your commission of the murder, no? Or you killed a person in consideration of a prize, a reward, or promise, no? Hitman ka, ginawa mo para sa pera.
Okay.
Those are proven, then homicide now becomes murder.
Okay. Grabe yun. At least we have, there are so many things that we shed light on. Like, ikaw, meron ka ba bang ibang topics dyan na gustong i-discuss?
I think I'm done for the day na.
Yun, okay. Let's wrap this up, Attorney Paolo. Thank you so much for being here, and please invite everyone to your social media and your YouTube channel.
Yeah, guys, I made a YouTube channel, no, for initially for my students during this COVID-19 quarantine, no, because classes have been online. So all the lessons for my students there are uploaded, no. We have obligations and contracts, sales, negotiable instruments, etc. Okay, so please just visit it. You can just search Attorney Javier Law Vlog. Okay, Attorney Javier, Javier Law Vlog. Okay, so please visit it and subscribe as well, no?
So, again, subscribe to Attorney Javier's Law Vlog. It's on YouTube. Listen to everything. Learn from it. Ako, sinasabi ko ito kay Java kanina, like, mas marami akong natutunan sa kanya kaysa sa pagbabasa ko ng libro eh. Sobrang, I'm an auditory learner. So, weakness ko talaga yung pagbabasa. Pero if I listen to it, I remember it and I have better recall. So, again, Attorney Javier, thank you so much for being here. And with that, that's what Coach Franco says. Bye-bye.
Coach Franco Says. We'd like to thank our partners for making this episode possible.
The faceless emotion as your senses come together. Being in the moment is the only thing that matters. Knots and crosses. Place your orders on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Delicious beans for your daily brew? Get your fix with the One Coffee. Order now on their Facebook and Instagram pages. Spelled AWON Coffee. Gatorade. Because nothing beats Gatorade. Inspiring community and culture. Spread the good vibes in the local jiu-jitsu community. Visit Ikiro Collective at ikiro.ph. Designer Mouthguards, an amazing dental service in the heart of Makati. Visit the Santos Dental Group and Oral Surgery Center. Book an appointment on their Facebook page. Read news about the local martial arts scene here in the Philippines. Visit Local MMA on Facebook and listen to one of my favorite podcasts, Destroy MNL. My life is about providing value and helping others achieve their goals. Please help me make more podcast episodes, video tutorials, and educational content that will benefit everybody. Support this channel by clicking the link in the description box. Thank you for your support, and I will keep making content that matters. So that's it, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.